yours. Though knew her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though knew her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. And mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4, in joy and gladness with our hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, liberty of God's command. This home of glory, liberty of God's command. All hail Liberia, hail, all hail, Liberia, hail. This glory.
information and entertainment. We want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being part of today's program. I'm Alfonso Z and Soul of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV right here, tied from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Now we want to welcome all of you this evening. So usual here to all the good evening, folks. We want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe, wherever you are. I'm Alfonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to thank you so much for being part of today's program. Today is Thursday, and as usual is your informative news magazine, All Things Considered. All Things Considered comes your way every Thursday here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you for sharing your Thursday morning, Thursday evening to wherever you are in the USA, in Liberia. We strongly have your heart, and now it is a pleasure to have you here. This is a network where issues are discussed. As you may know, in recent time, we are injected some other informative information that we feel necessary you need to know. Every Thursday here, we have Professor Joel is here to help us out to talk other issues. It's not all about politics 24/7. There are other critical issues affecting our country. The global war, for example, see what is unfolding right now. Very, very much unprecedented. And that's unfolding. So we need to give tips and have this sort of discussion. And this is why we always we tend to do, and we will be doing here. My guest is already standing by from Texas. She will be joining me here, hopefully to have another health professional here in my own Ocean State. We've been monitoring development here. We are hearing potentially there will be a state of emergency here. I'm still looking to see the official news here, but we yet to get that here. But as you know, the coronavirus is now taking over the global stage, which is very, very, very much unprecedented. And we need to create a public awareness, for which we have reached out to the Institute of Public Health in Liberia. They have responded to our email. We hope to get the director here at some point in time so that we can begin the conversation. Yesterday, coronavirus was reported in neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire. This is alarming, and we want to know how the government and the people that are making preparations. We are getting information from our correspondent. Public health awareness is ongoing in Nima County, as well to the border close to Côte d'Ivoire. These and many more are going to be right on top of the news here this evening, as I'll be joining my guests very shortly. But in the meantime, let's take a quick commercial break, courtesy of WHO, that's the World Health Organization. We're going to be playing this quick commercial commitment, and we will be right back. We are all on an obligation to create an aggressive public awareness. This pandemic has been declared as pandemic by the World Health Organization, so it's no playing business again. It is serious than we thought it to be. I'm AZ and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Let's have this message here from the World Health Organization, WHO. And I will be right back.
There was a cluster of pneumonia cases in China. Investigations found that it was caused by a previously unknown virus, now named the 2019 novel coronavirus. In this video, we'll take a quick look at what's currently known about the virus. Keep in mind that this is a new virus, and what's known about the virus now might change in the future. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses. They consist of a core of genetic material surrounded by an envelope with protein spikes. This gives it the appearance of a crown. Crown in Latin is called corona, and that's how these viruses get their name. There are different types of coronaviruses that cause respiratory and sometimes gastrointestinal symptoms. Respiratory disease can range from the common cold to pneumonia, and in most people, the symptoms tend to be mild. However, there are some types of coronaviruses that can cause severe disease. These include the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, first identified in China in 2003, and the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus that was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. The 2019 novel coronavirus was first identified in China. It initially occurred in a group of people with pneumonia who'd been associated with a seafood and live animal market in the city of Wuhan. The disease has since spread from those who were sick to others, including family members and healthcare staff. There are many cases at present, and the disease has spread within China and also to a number of other countries. So, where did the virus come from? It's known that coronaviruses circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes these viruses can make the jump from animals to humans. This is called a spillover and could be due to a range of factors such as mutations in the virus or increased contact between humans and animals. For example, MERS-CoV is known to be transmitted from camels and SARS-CoV from civet cats. The animal reservoir of the 2019 novel coronavirus is not known yet. How is it transmitted? The exact dynamics of how the virus is transmitted is yet to be determined. In general, respiratory viruses are usually transmitted through droplets created when an infected person coughs or sneezes, or through something that has been contaminated with the virus. People most at risk of infection from the novel coronavirus are those in close contact with animals, such as live animal market workers, and those who are caring for people infected with the virus, such as family members or healthcare workers. So, how does the disease present? Well, from what is known so far, there can be a number of symptoms ranging from mild to severe. There can be fever and respiratory symptoms such as cough and shortness of breath. In more severe cases, there's been pneumonia, kidney failure, and death. The mortality rate is not known yet. How can we tell whether someone is infected? The infection can be diagnosed by a test called PCR, or polymerase chain reaction. This test identifies the virus based on its genetic fingerprint. There's currently no specific medication for the virus, and treatment is supportive care. There's currently no vaccine to protect against the virus. Treatment and vaccines are in development. How do we prevent transmission of the virus? This new virus currently has a limited geographic spread. However, there are a number of standard hygiene practices that have been recommended to protect against infection and further spread. These include covering your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing with a medical mask, tissue, or flexed elbow, avoiding close contact with those who are unwell, the appropriate use of masks and personal protective equipment, especially in a healthcare setting, washing hands regularly with soap and water, or alcohol-based hand rub. Actions that can be taken to prevent infection from an animal source include avoiding unnecessary unprotected contact with animals, washing hands after contact with animals or animal products, and ensuring that animal products are cooked thoroughly before they're consumed. It's important to stay home if you're feeling unwell, but if you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early and share your previous travel history with your healthcare provider. That's a quick look at this emerging infectious disease. Given that this outbreak is evolving rapidly, what's known about this virus can change. Please check the websites below for the most up-to-date information. In December 2019, there was a cluster of pneumonia cases in China. Investigations found that it was caused by a previously unknown virus, now named the 2019 novel coronavirus. In this video, we'll take a quick look at what's currently known about the virus. Keep in mind that this is a new virus, and what's known about the virus now might change in the future. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses. They consist of a core of genetic material surrounded by an envelope with protein spikes.
This gives it this program on the way to very shortly. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners right here this evening on this informative news outlet, Liberia Public Radio 10 LPR TV. As usual, we are here always to bring you news and information. Let me go to my main host, Professor Joel is joining me from right here, USA, Texas. She's here with me this evening as well. Angie is here. We're going to be bringing her on as well. So, folks, just bear with us here. This Professor, good evening. Good to have you here.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you so much for making time for us. Then let's see here. Let's see if we can get Angie. Angie, are you hearing me? Okay, okay, let's see here. Hopefully it's loud and clear. All right. Okay, very good. You are perfect. Just bear with us. The background might not look perfect as you want it to be. What is important here is the discussion. Okay, Angie, thank you for chipping in here. She's right here within my own ocean state of Rhode Island. Are you there, Angie?
I am.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for sharing your evening, taking some of your busy time to tap into your expertise. I hate to do this, but for the benefit of my audience, it is a tradition here to just briefly to introduce yourself, and we'll get right down to the wire.
My name is Angie Banancoma, and professionally, I'm a public health practitioner and a social worker.
Social worker. Okay, so we are well equipped here. We have all of the people that should be here to help us here this evening. And okay, so we're going to get this program to very shortly on the way. So let me go to Professor Joette. Joette, are you there? Okay, so let me just go right to you right now. We're going to be coming to Angie here. We started this coronavirus here, but it's unprecedented now. But what do you have in your playbook to share with us here today?
Well, Angie and I will talk, get updates or talk about coronavirus, and then we will get into our main topic, which is maternal health care.
Maternal health care.
We'll be discussing those various issues.
Okay, good. All right, folks. I'm quite sure the audio is perfect. Just give a thumbs up if you are getting all loud and clear. We in a classroom. This is the original classroom here this evening. Okay, so more or less, we'll kind of be a little bit quiet today because when you have people that are in their area, you give them the opportunity. Except I need to make a follow up, and as usual to our onliners, please follow the discussions, and you can send your questions. We will determine the substance of the question, then we can ask our panelists here this evening to dwell into it. Okay, so to get the ball rolling now, so let's see it.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to go into since the coronavirus has become a pandemic around the world, and so many has affected a lot of our daily lives and things that we do, as well as the virus causing havoc on globally around the world. We're going to talk about that, give an update, like I stated. The coronavirus or COVID-19 outbreaks began in Wuhan, Japan, back in late December 2019, I believe. And since then, it has been detected probably on every continent except for Antarctica. And the virus has spread over more than 110. I think that rate have changed just the past few hours or days. Over 110 countries, and over approximately 5,000 people have died, and over 125,000 have been infected with the coronavirus. So, and those statistics are coming from the World Health Organization.
Wow.
And I can let Angie go into get more. She's more the public health. She was a director for the Department of Rhode Island Public Health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh, to stop the multiplication of the disease, and so that's why while you're not seeing, that's why you're seeing a mass cancellation of large events. And so I know there are some who are feeling as though it is um, a over, how can I say it? It's overprotective, but that's one of the best ways to actually disrupt the spread of the disease. And when you've seen the rates decline in China or maybe Taiwan, which actually
So,
didn't have a rapid
Angie,
increase. Yes.
not to interrupt you, if you can just adjust your camera. Okay, just right there. Okay, much perfect. I just want to make sure. Let them know who's. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And so when you've seen places that have actually had not seen a dramatic increase of increased cases of COVID-19, those are places that were able to practice social distancing. And so, the canceling of events, making sure that people socially distance themselves is really, public health and epidemiologists' efforts to make sure that we don't spread disease, um, so that we don't overwhelm our healthcare system. We really
That's
can't afford to.
Wow.
that's correct. Because one of the main things with transmission of viruses, we have what we call the chain of infection. I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Okay. Well, let's see. Go ahead. Let me see.
I said we have. I'm still having a little bit of feedback, but I'll go ahead.
Yeah. Let me see. Let
I
me see.
said the primary way of trying to, as Andy stated, to break the chain or the transmission of infection is to have a break in the system. Because we have that chain of infection and there's 6 links to it. So once it interrupts or breaks one of those links, it makes it difficult for transmission. I'm still feedback.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see. I think it should be okay now.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. Much.
Okay.
I think it's much better now.
So that's what the main thing is, decrease the chain of transmission actually, or breaking that chain of infection.
Hmm.
And that's the best way to do it. Like I said, there's a bunch of contingency plans that's going around, or that different countries and state department are trying to implement to lessen the spread of this virus. I know a lot of people are they're not taking it serious, but it is serious because yet we still have to determine if it's airborne. It's not really, they haven't really said, but it's spread of it is through respiratory droplets. So if it's really a droplet or airborne, and then it also spreads through surface areas, which can stay on the surface for up to 9 or 10 days. So it makes that difficult to really break that and for transmission.
Wow. So it seems we are in there for the more hard than we thought it should really be there. That we thought it to be. Let me just bring in Angie. Angie, are you there?
I am.
Yeah, from the public health
Yes.
perspective. Yes. What you said, Joy?
I said I'm getting a lot of feedback, but
You're still still getting the feedback. No, that I don't think. All right. Let me see here. I think everything the monitor is off, so that should be fine. Okay. Yeah, Angie, you hearing me loud and clear?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. From let's take it from the public health perspective here. You here, I believe, you work with the Rhode Island Department of Public Health, correct?
I'm sorry.
You currently work with the Rhode Island Department of Public Health.
No, I don't currently work there. I actually work in the nonprofit sector right now. But I worked with the Department of Health for 10 years. I worked there during the H1N1 virus. I worked there during the Ebola epidemic.
Oh, yeah, the
So,
blood.
yeah, and I'm working with the department right now in the nonprofit sector and responding to
Yeah.
the COVID-19 now.
Okay, from what should we take into consideration? I know you guys just give a sort of a synopsis here, but for the most part, for us ordinary people who really do not have this sort of have background, we take things lightly. What should we be concerned, and what will you be telling folks that are listening to us right now?
Wash your hands, right? It's really one of the basic things that people, it seems really simple. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure we our surfaces multiple times a day, if possible. Make sure when we look at doorknobs and places that there's high traffic areas, make sure we're cleaning and disinfecting those areas. Making sure that if you're sick, you're around people who may be sick, you distance yourself from people who may be sick. If you are exhibiting symptoms that are similar to the flu or the coronavirus, you contact your medical provider immediately. And you stay home. You distance yourself from people. That's how we avoid the sickness. One person can infect many people. I mean, I read in the newspaper how one person infected 100 people in New York City. And so that's why it's critically important that you are know what the signs and symptoms are. If you know what are exhibiting symptoms, you immediately isolate yourself and contact your medical provider.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Let me get here. Okay, we're trying to do it to make sure to get the feedback going. Let me just bring in Joy here as well. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but as we talk, the feedback is very horrible. It's not too well. I don't know if it's
I
more Angie's end.
Yeah, I don't know what I should get other device. Everything seems to be. I know when I'm talking. Everything seems to
Just
be.
so for the listening audience, because I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Yeah, please do something about the sound. Yeah, David, thank you. We are working on it. I'm not sure whether it's coming from the other end, but everything pretty well looks good here from my side here. Hopefully it can improve. Okay, let me just bring you in here. Is Joey, do you still want to talk on this coronavirus, or do you want to go
Yeah,
to?
we basically have the same. Basically, the symptoms that you would see with the COVID-19, and then the symptoms can go from mild to even, and then it can lead to death, as we have seen with the rapid demise of people around the world. Symptoms may appear at least 2 to 4 days after exposure. Sometimes some people don't even show the symptoms rapidly. Again, in order to think that Angie stated, if you have a compromised immune system, it makes it you're more prone or susceptible to getting those signs, symptoms, or the infection that we'll see. And the common symptoms that you will see with the COVID-19, it's the high fever, high temperature, fever, also coughing that you will see, and as well as shortness of breath. You will see what patient what we call dyspnea. They'll have difficulty breathing as well. And as Angie stated, and I'm just going to reiterate, some of the tip and advices is to basically, as she stated, avoid close contact or being a close proximity with people that are sick, and also avoid touching our eyes, the nose, and the mouth, because those are all transmission offices or sites where the viruses can enter into the body. Those are portable entry that the virus can enter the body. She stated you want to stay home when you're having any of those symptoms that I stated earlier. Also, when you're coughing, a lot of times make sure you use, usually I prefer to cough in the elbow, the coughing in your hand, because once again, once you touch your face and stuff, you can spread the virus that way. So you can cough in your elbow or sneezing, and also if you're coughing, you can use tissue. And once you use the tissue, you want to discard, throw the tissue away, and wash your hands. Wash your hands. Use a hand sanitizer as well.
You don't use the same tissue and put it back in your pocket
No.
when you say you want to use it again.
Because that it can have all that droplet and stuff on there, and then when you go back to use it, That's how you can spread. And then you leave it in there, you touch someone's hand, take someone's hand, and you can spread that. So that's another way. And also, disinfect or clean any surface area or objects, because again, like I stated, it's spread through the virus, spread through respiratory droplets, as well as it being on surface area. Like, when you're going on a train, you're touching on a pole, those different, anyone that you touch, the virus can stay on there. And then somebody who come in and sit after you, they will, or if they touch that same surface area, they can get infected with the virus as well.
Wow.
So again, as she said, make sure you wash your hands real good properly, and they tell you to at least for 20 seconds. You can, when you're singing ABC songs, or for the kids, this is how you teach them. When they're saying A, B, C to Z, they can wash their happy birthday. Those are ways to wash your hands. When you're washing your hands, you want to wash in between your fingers, underneath your fingers, your fingernails, and all of that. Like I say, you just want to have a good friction to get rid of that germs or viruses as well. And if you use a hand sanitizer or alcohol-based rub, the one as everybody buying now, CDC suggests that you use at least 60% of alcohol base. It should have 60% of alcohol ingredients or content in it. So that way it can kill those the various germs and bacteria virus. And they are suggesting, CDC is suggesting, when I say CDC, Center for Disease Control, not our CDC.
I know, I almost, but okay. So, Angie, are you there? Yeah, okay. Let me bring you in here to up here. Let's see here, and hopefully they can also get on here. You listen to Professor Joel. I know there are some sort of similarity in terms of what you are doing. What else do we need to know?
What else do you need to know? I think a lot of people are being economically impacted by this, and it seems like the government is moving rapidly to provide some economic relief. I don't have the details regarding that right now because literally it's happening as we speak. I think a lot of people, businesses, it's impacting the economy globally, and so I think people who are impacted economically, they should stay tuned. People who are in the service industry, who work at restaurants or who work at hotels, who work in the airline industry, a lot of this is significantly impacted because we're canceling conferences, large gatherings. And so stay tuned if this is impacting you economically and how you could provide relief, because, people still, despite this, people have to pay bills. And so the government is moving swiftly to be able to provide some relief. And so pay attention to what type of supports are going to be in place to be able to support families, because people still have to pay rent, mortgages, and have to put food on their tables.
Well, that's the whole thing. Stomach is unreasonable. So, Professor, let me just bring you in here. Our brother here, Brother David, who's been, he said, I am watching from China to Win You. It seems to me, from all indication, that's where the whole things here generated. As not to making a case here, what should he be concerned with? Because this seems to be lately the emergence of this coronavirus here. That's the origin of it. That was the first city. So we hope our brother is doing well. What should he be concerned with?
Just as much as we should be concerned as well, because right now China and those vicinity areas have the highest. I think from the latest statistic that I saw, I think China has about, I want to say 80 to 90,000 cases, and they have the highest rate for death toll as well. So not just because he's over there, because you have to think the way how this thing or any virus or any disease is spread is through, transportation, people moving from one region to another or from one continent to another. So that's how it makes it's a little bit hard to control. So you just seen recently here, President Donald Trump had a ban on Europe, except for the United Kingdom, that people can, from within those areas, cannot travel to the United States. So some governmental agency are taking drastic measure, which again, I don't blame them because we all still at investigating and researching this disease as to how, transmission and how to properly protect the community at large or the public at large. Because like I said, nowadays you can have people traveling at a faster rate. So that's how majority of the diseases or viruses are being spread because, we commute with each other or cohabitate with each other. So it makes that spread very easy and the disease or the virus itself to become more viable in our community.
Okay, so can we transition to you guys as your main topic for tonight? Is that something we can do now? Angie, is there sort of something, any information, piece of information you want to share before we can transition?
Oh, I'm comfortable with transitioning.
Okay, so Professor, this is your era. This is your era here. Introduce our next discussion here this evening for the benefit of our audience.
Well, we what I talked about or we're going to be discussing is maternal health. As we all know, and maternal health basically, according to the World Health Organization, again, they define maternal health as health of women during pregnancy as well as during childbirth and postpartum. And postpartum is basically after they have given birth to the baby or to the child. So I'm going to be discussing that, especially with the statistics and how much with the disparity within the African American or the African community. It's a lot of times, usually African American or African, even in developing countries, don't even get an opportunity to get prenatal care or preconception and interception. We don't do all of that, so it makes it difficult. So that's why you see a lot of death in that specific population, and there's also a risk factor that also happens with that as well.
Why this is a sort of a concern? Why is a big deal within the health community? Maternal
Why?
health.
Because I mean, like I said, a lot of times you have within a population, the main thing that with or the main aim of maternal health basically is to improve and also promote maternal health that we talk about, as well as to ensure that the pregnant women and her fetus as well are able to sustain the best possible health during that period of time. Because a lot of also you have to think a lot of factors, a lot of environmental risk factors and even genetic factors can come into play with that if a female does not get adequate prenatal care during pregnancy or maternal health care rather, because there's a bunch of complication as well that deals with that, and also with nutrition wise factors that plays into it. Prenatal care is very important that we need to be able to educate again a lot of just all women as well, but majority you will see a lot of times there's a huge disparity again amongst the African Hispanic population that you would see that.
It's just natural. Angie, let me just bring you in here. Why when it comes to this sort of critical thing, there's always the minority group or the black in general to say they are always the victim. What is responsible for that?
Poverty.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's a big one.
I think there are underlying issues with income inequality that also impact. But I think one of the things that are most fascinating is that when you hold all things constant, meaning if you are a Black woman and you have the same educational level as a woman who's Caucasian, you still have poorer birth outcomes compared to a white woman with the same educational level. So, despite having the same educational level as a white woman, oftentimes, if you have more, actually, there was a research article that I read that says Black women who have PhD levels oftentimes have the same birth outcomes as white women who have high school degrees.
Yep.
So despite having more education, we still have poor birth outcomes. There's something systemic about being a Black woman in this country that still, you still have poor birth outcomes. 2 times, 3 times the rate of a white woman. And despite being a Black woman in this country, there's something about being a Black woman in this country. And so a couple of years ago, I actually went to a research presentation by a pediatrician who studied not only Black women, but also African immigrant women. And what she realized, which I thought was another fascinating aspect, is she not only looked at African women from the diaspora, she looked at the diaspora according to when they were born in this country. So somebody like me, who was born in this country, and somebody like Joelle, who was not, right? And so, depending on when you were born in this country,
that's a good case. That's a good case study right there.
Right? Yeah. So, depending on whether or not your family has been here for generations, like African Americans been here for generations, they had poorer health outcomes than somebody like me, Joelle. We had better health, better birth outcomes. So, the longer you have been here as an African, you African American, you had a poorer health outcome. So, what experience systemic racism and discrimination, perception of systemic racism and discrimination impacted outcomes, and also impacted the amniotic look in your womb. So basically, racism impacts birth outcomes of children before they're even born in the country.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So, this basically, it seems to me, it has, for the greater part, it has something to do with women, right? Is there a specific age group that is affected badly, or what?
Well, the childbearing age, my paperwork that I did for women is usually from 15 to 40 to age 49, but it can be in different countries and different ethnic group. It varies also, but predominantly it's between age 15 to 49. And here, sometimes the older you are, when you have a child, here you have genetic factors that play into it. In Africa, I mean, it can happen, but you see older women having babies in the 40s, late 50s. Those things happen, or even younger girls, age, not just in Africa, even here at the age of 9, 10. Basically, once a female starts to have a menstrual cycle, she can have a baby if she has sex. And sometimes at a younger age, you know, those little babies or little girls are being raped or incest. So there's different things that goes on within that within the age group. And in teenagers too, they have a higher what you call it, rate for pregnancy within the US as within the US here. I'm not too sure about other various countries, but it's becoming basically a pandemic with you have babies having babies, basically.
Wow. Angie, are you there?
I'm here.
You want to?
So then
You
also looking at too with the statistic that I got from my paperwork, I think it says about 40 to 45% of the population in developing countries with children constitute about 40 to 45%. So that's what makes maternal health care very important, because it just not maternal health care is not just about the pregnant woman, but it also about her child. So it's basically as a maternal OBGYN practitioner, you're taking care of not just one patient, but you're actually taking care of two client or two patients, the mom and the fetus or the baby.
Okay, I don't know why it seems that I lose Angie. Yeah, Angie, are you there? Angie, are
I don't
you?
see her monitor.
Yeah,
Maybe she's logging again. I don't know what happened.
yeah. I think from her end that we haven't issue. I think she dropped or whatever the case. But let me see here. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, she's off. All right.
You can call.
Yeah.
So
All right.
again, with things that we will see, about 99% of maternal death, which means when a baby is woman is pregnant, occurs in developing countries. And developing country will be one of my birth origin, Liberia,
Mhm.
Ghana, or other developing country. Before it used to be referred to as third world, no longer. Um, those the higher rates again, as Angie stated, because again that population have a higher rate of Afro American women or Korean women. So again, in a study or the research that she talked about, I read about it as well, where as she stated, someone with a master's or PhD level will get the same for or African female with the same maternal care as a high school Caucasian woman. So there's that disparity in healthcare with not just us, the provider, but also our counterparts of females, our sisters, our aunties, nieces. So again, that all puts us basically at the bottom of the pool. So for us to have healthy babies, because again, we don't have the accessibility to those various or a full ability of health care as well. So that can play a role into that as well. And a lot of times you see with maternal, is she born or
No, no, no. So
so
we'll just go ahead.
things that will happen with young adolescents,
Mm.
young teenagers, they face a much higher risk for complication and death as a result of pregnancy than other female counterparts. So basically, with teenager, they will have a higher rate for with more complications that we will see out there. And again, I cannot see your audience as they're typing.
Mm.
So
I will be going to the question here. I'm saying here, I think hopefully she back. Let me just see. Folks, just bear with us here a little bit here. Let me see whether I can get uh, Angie on. Let me. Uh, n- hold on one second. I think Angie, I guess she get another device. Angie, are you there? Okay. Yeah, I think I will lose control here a little before. Let's see here. Let me see what I can get you on. Yeah, I'll be going down. No sound at all. Are you sure, David? I'm saying everything looks good from my end here. So check your system if you. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Yeah. Uh,
yes, I'm here.
yeah. Uh,
I was
okay.
keeping it going while I lost my partner.
Okay. Okay. So Angie, I'm putting you on. Let's see. Basically, there's something, and this is the question I want to ask. I know most of you guys going to have the conversation. What are the leading causes of death of maternal health? Hmm.
Legal abortion. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
That can happen, and also what you see a lot that they will have what we call eclampsia, and that's basically pregnancy-induced hypertension. That is one of the risk factor of maternal death around the world.
Wow. Angie, you want to come in?
I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to
I
add?
think my sister Joel answered all of the questions. He didn't cover all the risk factors. He's
Yeah. It look like the sound from your end somehow. Do you have any device on there, by the way? No, Angie.
Can you hear me better
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. Much better. Okay. Go ahead.
I said my sister Joelle handled that one, so I will let her carry on. But I have nothing to add to her response.
So again, also too within developing countries, you will see malaria. A lot of times you see that, and also what we call anemia. And basically, anemia is again where you have the hematocrit and the hemoglobin. Those part of the RBC or the red blood cell. They will become very low, and your patient will become anemic. What you would see with the patient, as well as patients that have any type of liver issue, specifically hepatitis. And hepatitis, the medical terminology indicates that it's inflammation of the liver. And also, you see tuberculosis, also malnutrition will also be a factor.
Wow. It seems to just sustain life, to live is it's a very, very difficult thing.
And you talk about age as well, the female age. And I know people are into it, education status too. As much as you go higher for black female is still with the counterpart of the Caucasian female. There's still not much of a difference in what's the word I'm trying to in care, maternal care that would be rendered to her. She can have a PPE, it won't matter because as compared to her counterpart of Caucasian female.
Is it fair to say it in looking at my own country, your own country, third world country like Liberia with a lack of medical facility. Most of the time, women, mothers, sisters, they go the next thing, this child, this person, this lady, they die. Is it because of lack of this facility, or people just do not have the basic training and to attend to this issue, or they do not determine some of these pre-existing conditions, or what?
I mean, there's no facility or adequate amount of people that have the specialty in that area. So it makes it difficult. Also, have the diagnostic tools or testing that they need to be able to determine if they have any genetic or any factors can cause those various conditions, not just to the female, but also to the fetus. So there's again, lack of proper tools, qualified clinician. If they do have the tools, they've been properly trained to use those diagnostic tools and able to render or do a proper test that is not contaminated.
All right, let me get Angie in here as well. Here, let's tap into her. Angie, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. What do we need to know? This seems to be a very huge thing, and because the WHO or people in the health community, they are putting a lot of time to this because there are a lot of leading causes of death, like the pre-existing condition and all of that. Yet, what do we need to know? I'm saying something about cardiovascular disease. All of that cause that as well.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, so what else do you want to add? I know that the professor has gone through most of it, but from all indication, There are so many factors related to it that it causes death.
I think one of the things that's important to know
Mm.
is that the importance of having a healthy pregnancy is that a lot of it starts before you get pregnant and maintaining a healthy lifestyle before you're pregnant. So maintaining healthy minerals and nutrients before you conceive, making sure that you have a healthy lifestyle, making sure that you're of a healthy weight. All of these things happen before you conceive, making sure that you are of healthy mind and spirit, social emotionally. All these things help you be more healthy and prepared for your body to be able to take care of a child growing over the course of 40 weeks. So oftentimes people begin to take care and better care of themselves once they conceive, but it should happen before you conceive.
Wow.
And
So,
that's what we call the preconception care that she just stated. That you need to have before a female can get pregnant, she needs to start 3 months in advance. That we tell patients of mine at least start the prenatal vitamin. Because and one thing about kids, or the kids, they're very viable. If a mother, I'm hearing static again. If a mother does not, or a pregnant female does not take care of herself adequately, that baby will basically act. I know I don't want to act like a take away from the mom what they need, various nutrients like the calcium, potassium, all those various minerals and vitamins that the baby needs. If the mom is not eating properly, it doesn't have a healthy weight, and she's unhealthy in her weight, nutrition, and also like I said, we'll do the multivitamins, and then also give them the folic acid, and basically the folic acid will protect against any neural defects like spina bifida. Sometimes you have a baby born with cerebral palsy, those different genetic things, because again, sometimes they can be genetic or other environmental factors can cause that. Again, if a female has done
not to interrupt you, so what could be the perfect example of environmental factor?
Environmental factors can be like pesticides, anything within the environment that can cause harm to the baby, to the fetus. So, for example, is one of those.
Wow.
And then
So,
you can also have if the mom also is smoking. I think Angie stated that if she's using any type of illicit drug, and a lot of times people will overlook also like the marijuana, the smoking cigarettes, the alcohol, all of those drugs can cause problem with the fetus. And that's where you can have a lot of times if the mom is drinking excessively, if she's drinking alcohol excessively, if a baby is born, that infant or that fetus can be born with fetal alcohol syndrome. And those where it can lead to learning disability and mental disability or psychosocial issues with the fetus as they grow up. And sometimes you see if they have used any type of substance abuse or those illicit drugs, whatever out there, for example, cocaine, PCP, all of those hardcore drugs that you see, when a baby come out, they'll have like those jittery, they'll be having withdrawal symptoms, and it can cause havoc on the fetus again, because again, they have not yet fully developed or have a proper or strong immune system. A lot of times they will have all those health issues compounded by that as growing out or developing out of the womb. And that can also happen in utero as well, or wider in the womb. Sorry, not to use much.
There were some things you were talking about, and that just comes to mind. People in Liberia, you not getting the proper water, you not eating the proper food, so it's like people are living by the grace of God. But this is what David Seawater is saying. Say, Professor, I would like to contact you for research purposes. I'm a Liberian student studying in Wuhan, China. Okay, what? Okay, so yeah,
You can do that.
She's on Facebook, so there are so many ways you can reach, and I think hopefully she can be a good asset. We intend to have these sort of conversations. I think it is necessary. It is benefiting for our country. We need to look at other aspects of life. Angie, let me just bring in Angie here as well. So, Angie, okay, yeah, I think the sound is much perfect. Hearing what I'm hearing here, Africans in general seems to be vulnerable to this whole maternal health, correct? Hmm. So when you think about this here, now you in such a modern society, you are going to school, you've seen all of the factors and how it can be remediated. And if you look at, take a reflection back in your own country or hearing stories coming from the country, what comes to your mind? Yeah, I mean, considering what we are talking here, with the good medical facilities, you need to eat the right food, you need to get the right treatment, and all of that. But that's not the case in third world countries, like my
Can I
own country, Liberia. Mhm.
can I say something? I'm sorry. Not I know, yes, the US more predominant cases in developing countries, but not to say that we don't see those disparities and also a higher rate for us African or African American women with developing country as well. It's the same is bad as well.
Hmm.
Maybe not on a higher level for them. So I'll let Angie answer. I'm sorry, I just needed to state that. Not just yeah, developing country has a more higher rate, but also here you can see in places like Louisiana or those rural areas, they are more susceptible to lack of health care as well. I just want to reiterate. Go ahead, Angie. I'm sorry.
I think when you have more complicated births,
Hmm.
that's where there's an issue. But I also believe something like childbirth, which is some of the most natural things, we have what we need. Um, like nurse midwives, and providers. I think when you have more complicated health issues and you have more riskier births, that's when we lack some of the technologies and the critical care supports that are needed. But for the most part,
Hmm.
we have some of the healthier foods, some of the environments that we need to be able to take care of ourselves. But when we have the more complicated health issues, when you're in a more rural area and you don't have access to the care you need, I think that's where we run into issues. But all things being equal, I think we have some of the basic support that we need. It's just when when we have complicated health issues is when we run into issues when we have a higher infant mortality.
So, what sort of help? What sort of awareness? Besides, I'm not sure. Even if we carry out the awareness and the proper treatment and the proper facilities are not there, and if people cannot get the kind of needed medical care, I think that is just pointless. Or do we need to carry some sort of awareness? What people to eat, how they should go about doing it, and even if they can't even get their some people because of poverty, they can't even get their regular daily meal. That makes it very difficult, guys.
It takes a human being to use those tools and use all of those area apparatus. But with just health education and public awareness brings to it, and it educate people so they can know what proper steps to take. Like Angie stated, a lot of times we have all the stuff that we need to for when it comes to talking about maternal breath now. As she stated, we have everything there. But what complicates those scenarios is when you have those very health issues complicating that chronic, like again, the heart disease, the diabetes, the obesity, just to name a few of those genetic conditions that can cause problems, uh, not just to the mom, but also to the fetus. And all of those different other genetic things such as the sickle cell anemia as well, or cystic fibrosis. All of those other different genetic things can come into play and cause and complicate a female's chance of giving natural or healthy, delivering a healthy baby. And again, you can see again the sexually transmitted infections, the HIV, the chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. So all of those different things will complicate a woman's chance of giving a healthy or delivering a healthy baby. Not given, but delivering a healthy baby.
Wow. This is.
So you say, what can we should, is there anything to do? It's pointless. No, it's not. Education, and also, again, I know that controversy with those various vaccination. Those are things, preventative measures that can be taken to alleviate some of those complications that is associated with maternal health.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at the time here that we don't want to go deep into your time. So is there other anything that we need to know here, guys, before I let you guys go? Yeah, there's some things that hopefully that maybe I didn't ask all of the question that I supposed to ask, but there are other things that you want to share with the audience. So important.
Go on, Angela.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Angie.
So having us too, and also to the listening audience. I know we had difficulties, but in a sound or to reiterate, make sure, females that are thinking of getting pregnant, things to come that we need to be looking at: age consideration, health, nutrition, all of those things, and educating them on those various steps to take or things to do in order to have or deliver a healthy baby.
All right.
To let complications. And also the student that wanted to get in touch with me, you can, I have a Facebook page, send a message or send your message to Liberia Public Radio. You can forward it to me, and I will be.
Okay, quickly here, say he who laughs last laughs the best. I see two questions coming in here. Please squeeze that for us if you can. This one from Amos George. Say, at what age women in Liberia should start having children? Oh, man, what kind of other question?
I mean, we can, that's women choices. So the age limit. I mean, I'm not saying for a teenager. So that's a personal decision that female has to make for herself. I'm not going to detect or tell people when they can have kids. Because again, age, yes, age is important or it's taken in consideration, especially here. That's not necessarily a factor in Liberia, in Ghana. Again, you have older women that having babies and have healthy babies with not complication, but here in the United States, the age of 35, tell you, you have a higher rate, which is based on studies and research that have been done, that you have a higher chance of having a baby with Down syndrome or a baby that will have a genetic condition. But that doesn't necessarily mean that will happen. It's based on statistic and research study showing that. So again, if the woman is taking good care of herself and doing all those things that she needs to, even sometimes sometimes you still have complications in your pregnancy. So that does not necessarily mean that because in Liberia or whatever, they will say, oh, the woman, something's wrong with her, something, so that does not necessarily mean, you can take care of her health and do all the right things. Again, there's different other factors that can come into play that can complicate or cause problems for not just her, but also put she and the fetus at risk.
All right. And the last one.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
Yeah, we please 10 seconds. This one here, I don't know how to, but let me just throw it out there. If you can answer it, that's fine. Um, Martha Brown said, "What measures have you put in place for the people? Is it going to you, or what measure should be? I don't know. We are having a
I mean, that
conference.
would be based on if I haven't seen a patient or a client, I can't put in any type of measure. That would be based on her gynecologist, her obstetrician, or her maternal health provider. So basic measure, like I said, just making sure that if you're deciding on pregnant, make sure that you take your prenatal vitamins, eat right, exercise well, do all those various things that your obstetrician is telling you to do in order to have a healthy and stable baby.
All right, Brown, that's it right there. So, folks, to let our audience know, I think we're going to be transitioning this sort of conversation to Friday now, correct? Is that the time we're going to be doing
Yes,
coming?
I will be because Thursdays, Monday, Thursdays, I lecture and teach. Times I don't get home till about 7, 8 my time. So times I have to be rushing home. So Friday will be a better fit.
Okay. So,
Friday, Saturday, I think is what we
Friday,
stated.
Friday,
And
we
then
say Friday,
on
12
those days,
o'clock.
on the weekends, I usually go in and assess my patients, and I can be on call for those for the weekend.
Okay, so Friday, 12 o'clock. And one of the reasons we are trying to do that, this is sort of educational outreach, like what David said. We want for our own Liberian people to also note that in as much we do the political aspect here, but there are some other things that touch to human lives that we talk about, and this is why the professor is here to be helping us out. And so we will transition moving forward to Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, Liberia and other parts of Africa will be part of the conversation, because if you look at a time like this, after 8, pretty well, most, if not all, for the most part, people are in bed. All right, Professor Joel and Angie, thank you so much for again having this sort of conversation. And I hope the coming week again we'll be back here with more informative health information. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Andy. I appreciate it. I know I called on a short notice, but share your input because I know you had a lot to deal with the population in that area. And also thanks to the audience. We appreciate you guys. You have a blessed day.
All right.
Oh no, one thing. Can
Yeah,
I
go
say
ahead.
happy birthday to my mama?
Oh, yes. In fact, I did that to. All right. There you go. All right. That's 60th. We say happy birthday to you. Today is your birthday. So I saw the post this morning from Joel. We also want to say it and wish us to say happy birthday, and may God richly bless you for all that you are. There you have it. Uh, all right. Okay. Thank you. Thank, thank you, guys. All right. We're going to be taking a quick commercial here. And we will be right back here very shortly. So let's take a quick commercial commitment, and I will be right back.
Day 2, annual business meeting and evening of elegance with special guest performance by D12. Day 3, family day and fundraiser, culminating with the all pink and white jazz night. So tell a frisky, tell a friend, tell a saint. For more information, visit us at www.stcspHS.com or call 404-317-7122 or 404-593-8961. See you there. Calling all saints and friskies, we're shutting down the ATL on Memorial Day weekend with 3 days of activities for the whole family. Day 1, the Masquerade Ball. Day 2, annual business meeting and evening of elegance with special guest performance by D12. Day 3, family day and fundraiser, culminating with the all pink and white jazz night. So tell a frisky, tell a friend, tell a saint. For more information, visit us at www.stcspHS.com or call 404-317-7122 or 404-593-8961. See you there. Calling all saints and friskies, we're shutting down the ATL on Memorial Day weekend with 3 days of
African goods like cassava leaf, potato grain. Those are the things that we use, for our African program here. So we get everything here, and so especially he brings in a lot of supply for our church program, a lot of instruments from Africa, salsa, samba, and even the motor pencils and everything from Africa. We get everything here. Even the lappers and other material that the women in the church get, we get everything from his store here. So his store is well equipped with a lot of goods. It's well full with a lot of material that you want here. Palm butter, a lot of things, rice, fish. We get everything here. And he had a lot of stores. He had about 4 different stores here. He had these stores and the other lab store that you see here with clothing and shoes, other materials you will see the lab store, and the fight store that he has under the tree there. And so you will see a lot of things there, cassava leaf, potato green. So this one is filled with a lot of cassava leaf, potato green. He has one of the stores in Upper Darby. It's filled with a lot of goods, similar thing. So you see deeper from Africa yam, and plantains, and the same thing you see all around. So that you see rice over there, and a lot of material you see. And so even the direct wearings, you see everything here from Africa. And so it's African and Caribbean enterprise here. Yeah.
Hello, how you doing? This is Uncle Musa, the owner of Uncle Musa Grocery in Philadelphia. The first store is Uncle Musa Grocery, Philadelphia, 6523 Wallen Avenue. And Uncle Musa Urban Faction, 6590 Wallen Avenue.
I'm a parent. I have 3 children in the school. One just passed to 6th grade, one passed to the 5th grade, and one graduated from the kindergarten to the 1st grade. And I'm Rosie Woodsfield. I'm very, very grateful to your organization, Sunrise, for what you've done for our children. That is a minus for book bag. The $15 or $20 years we have now for book bag, we can put it towards our children's school fees and their uniform. So may God bless your organization and give you all long life.
am from the 5th grade class. My school name is Kingdom Memorial Institute. I want to tell you all are welcome. I pray that our proprietors will bring a good thing in Jesus' name.
Okay, on behalf of the Eagle Nest Academy, we want to say thanks so much to Sunrise Forever for coming to the aid of our children. This is a very crucial time, so we really appreciate your help. And we want to say God bless you, team, and may God provide more. So all our people out there, we want to say God bless you and keep supporting the kids in Liberia. God bless you.
Do me, I do you. When you hold me, I hold you. When you touch me, I touch you. When you play me, I play you. Let me see you do. Do them, I cause.
The tax season is here again, and one thing you want is you don't want to go to people who will. A lot of the times we see in our community, they will mess your tax up and then they are nowhere to be found. So, I mean, my records are there. All of my clients, they have never had any issues. So, I'm available, like I said, throughout the year. And this tax season, I'm ready to roll. You can contact me. My phone number is 267-265-7903, 267-265-7903. And my address where I do the business is 539 South 4th Street, Darby, PA 19023. 539 South 4th Street, Darby, PA 19023. And you can see my office is right here. Everything is set up, the computer, my printer, everything is set up. And since the tax season started, that's all I've been doing. And again, I do a lot for my clients. Like I said, I help them. Even if you have filed your taxes in the past with other people and you have had problem, and then your problem have not been resolved, and the IRS keep writing you, whole dollar letters, you can't understand what these letters are, you can call me and then I will explain to you exactly what to do. If you owe the IRS and you want to make payment plan, I'm available. I can help you set up a payment plan with the IRS to stop bugging you. Another thing I do is there are other people who want to pay estimated taxes. The IRS write them a lot about estimated taxes, and I can do estimated tax for my client as well. And there are some people who own businesses, small businesses in the borough or in the city, like the city of Philadelphia, the borough of Darby. And then the borough will write down about the borough tax or city tax, and then they don't know where to start from. I help a lot of small businesses as well to do their borough and city taxes. The things that I do for my clients, I do non-profit.
Okay, folks, we want to thank our guest tonight. I know there was a little bit problem with the audio. I believe the device that were coming from one of the guests and was posing as an interruption to the audio and kept going off here. But notwithstanding, I think the message went pretty well across. And so we want to really thank them, and we hope to do that. We're going to be transitioning to the health talk with Professor Joel. It will be coming on the coming week, Friday at 12 midday. We think Liberia and other parts of Africa or the world should have access to it, not only just we here in the USA. So we are working on that, and hopefully that will be something we're going to be doing. And we will be adding other features as we move along the way, as our guys are also making preparation to start active broadcasting. As you know, Thursdays is all things considered. We are working out something. I might be having another lady here where we're going to be doing other variety of things, not just on it all about politics. There are some other social issues affecting people. We need to have these sort of conversations. These are all bucket up that constitute out of the complex problems in Liberia. But the best way we can do is to have this sort of a genuine conversation, Madam Bartlett. Good evening from the Valley of Delaware. You guys carrying Joe Biden, right? Yeah, that's my old man too. Yes, he will get it done. Well, this is all things considered. It comes your way every Thursday right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. I want to welcome was senior photographer of the Liberia Public Radio based in Philly. I'm talking about A. Nudu Jero. These are all hard-working folks of the LPR giving back to the community. That's our way. That's our own way of giving back to the community. Station manager Nata Mazula Gisi, the liberal progressive Samson Blokuto from Sacramento, California, and Mike Dunn and the rest of the folks in Liberia. Again, I'm not sure what going to be the status of it, but this St. Patrick's and St. Teresa's Convent, they will be having a big fund to raise out in Atlanta, Georgia, to Lawrenceville. And the purpose of that is they are rebuilding St. Patrick's High School, St. Patrick Kelly High School in Liberia. To my understanding, the project worth pretty close to $300,000. That's huge. And so this erased the notions of Liberians, people in the diaspora are not doing anything. That's not true. They just take a little minimal portion of things and they say that the people in the diaspora are not doing anything. Or is it because people are not individually rewarded? I think that's the best route to get something in the community, in the town, in the district, or in the whatever the region, that each and everyone will be benefited, not just necessarily you. Because if you get it, that's all to it. So that's not it. That's not how life works. People should do things in that the community, the area, the city will be benefited. And but we understand things are hard. But hey, and I think these folks are on the right route. We are also hearing to remember the Phoebe Hospital. I just get a message here from the director. We'll try contacting him. To follow up on the situation going on at Phoebe Hospital in Bangat, Bon County. Front page has reported that, and there was a story from our correspondent base in Banga, Bon County, yesterday, where authority at Phoebe has denied the death of the citizens at the hospital that has to do with no fuel, no power. As a result, the operations or surgery you will to call could not have because there was no power supply. But the authority at Phoebe Hospital are saying it has nothing to do with that. We do have interest in talking, and we are hearing the Bungies, that's the citizens of Bon County. I hope Mr. George will call in here, Amos George. We are hearing citizens of Bon County, they are making preparation to step in the gap to see how they can be a help to the Phoebe Hospital. And I think that's what we are supposed to be doing. That's all we need to do. In as much we will frown on national government, it is governmental responsibility, but you can feel proud within yourself if you undertake government initiative and give back to your own city, your own town, your own client, your own district, or your own county. You feel proud because you are part of those that are giving. And it gives you the courage to also talk with confidence because you did something, you intercede on behalf of the government. But if we can't do that, if we can't even give back to our own towns and villages, it makes it very difficult for people to understand. So our understanding now, the citizens of Bon County are gearing up in a fundraiser. We're going to come up with the date. We will let you know as soon they conclude all of that. But in the meantime, it's not just only citizens of Bond County. I strongly believe that every patriotic Liberian, Phoebe Hospital, if you are in transit, if you're from Grand Jita, if you're from Maryland, Sano, you're in transit, if anything happens, you're within the proximity of Bond County, you'll be treated. They won't say it because you're not from Bond County. So it's one of the nation's oldest facility. It has been there for a while. And there's no need that it should just go down the drain because certain things is not being put in place. So the citizens are making every effort. They are doing the little they can to rescue the situation. We do not know specifically, but from what we've been reading to what we've been hearing, the electric problem there is a serious concern. And as the result, when people are taking there, the guy that went there, he was to do his surgery, but because there was no fuel in the generator, they couldn't go ahead. By the time we are hearing when you take a patient, you who take a patient, you need to buy fuel to fuel the generator in order for them to work. See how terrible, how bad it is. It is why it is for now. So just imagine having all of these sort of complications, and with this whole corona stuff virus coming into place is in Cote d'Ivoire now. So it means all of us must be on our heels to pray that indeed the challenges that are facing the country are so huge. So we shouldn't not think there must be no insult to be added into injury again. So you take your people to the hospital, you have to buy fuel to fuel the generator before they can carry us. What happens if somebody is in a critical situation that needs emergency surgery, and you can't get a fuel like like the last time? What becomes that person? The person died. That was the case of the individual, the one looking out for fuel to fuel the generator in order to do their work. If they don't have it, they don't have it. So before we front on government, I think we as citizens, we can also play a part, and that is to do something about it as well. And while we are doing something, then we can question, then we can complain, then we can front on government. But if we have control of certain things and we fail to do that, then it makes it very, very difficult as to why we want to argue. The phone lines is open as usual. All things considered, it comes your way every Thursday, and part of that is to give you the opportunity to be able to discuss and give you your voice on things that you need to know and that you just don't know. So we always give that as well. So it's all things considered. The number is 628-433-8802 as usual, and you can form part of the conversation right here this evening. All things considered, it comes your way every Thursday, but for the most part recently we are at a new segment where we have in the first segment we have health talk with Professor Joat, and sometimes we're bringing other people, and we are looking for more people to have these sort of conversations. We think it's good, it's better for our country. Let's see what the local daily is saying here. As you know, there was a demonstration in Liberia today, but what is front page is reporting here. The Alternative National Congress ANC expels Wilbert Wadid, a youth Congress vice chair for inter-party and governmental affairs. Is ANC youth executive, he has been expelled according to what front page is reporting for gross insubordination. What is expulsion was based on recommendation from the Grievance and Ethics Committee coming out of its investigations into gross violations of parties, constitutions, and code of conduct. Yes, party get their own constitution, they get their own code of conduct, and that's okay. I think discipline must be established within this political institution. A lack of discipline is a problem because potentially when these people, if they are not disciplined, if they are not tolerant, if they take state power, they will become uncontrollable. So They need to start holding them down before they even get up there. And that will send a message to them. They must understand it's a political party. It's the party, their institution, and every institution has its own guidelines, own working guidelines, and no one should be above the law. The same way with government. So, according to what front page is saying, Mr. Wilbert Wadi is currently being expelled from ANC, and when you face expulsions, you know what it means. So, and I believe he was investigated. That was the recommendation from the Grievance and Ethics Committee investigation. And that's how he was suspended. Let's give you some educational type video here from WHO. This virus is real, and we want our people to really take heed, and take all necessary universal precautions. Avoid hurricane, avoid your face, which is so difficult. Somehow you always cry here, rub your face, and all of that. But it is why it is now. We must follow all of these guidelines from the CDC, the Center for Disease and Control. We must follow them. Let's take this message from the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, and I'll be right back.
Of a crown. Crown in Latin is called corona, and that's how these viruses get their name. There are different types of coronaviruses that cause respiratory and sometimes gastrointestinal symptoms. Respiratory disease can range from the common cold to pneumonia, and in most people, the symptoms tend to be mild. However, there are some types of coronaviruses that can cause severe disease. These include the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, first identified in China in 2003, and the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus that was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. The 2019 novel coronavirus was first identified in China. It initially occurred in a group of people with pneumonia who'd been associated with a seafood and live animal market in the city of Wuhan. The disease has since spread from those who were sick to others, including family members and healthcare staff. There are many cases at present, and the disease has spread within China and also to a number of other countries. So, where did the virus come from? It's known that coronaviruses circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes these viruses can make the jump from animals to humans. This is called a spillover and could be due to a range of factors such as mutations in the virus or increased contact between humans and animals. For example, MERS-CoV is known to be transmitted from camels and SARS-CoV from civet cats. The animal reservoir of the 2019 novel coronavirus is not known yet. How is it transmitted? The exact dynamics of how the virus is transmitted is yet to be determined. In general, respiratory viruses are usually transmitted through droplets created when an infected person coughs or sneezes, or through something that has been contaminated with the virus. People most at risk of infection from the novel coronavirus are those in close contact with animals, such as live animal market workers, and those who are caring for people infected with the virus, such as family members or healthcare workers. So, how does the disease present? Well, from what is known so far, there can be a number of symptoms ranging from mild to severe. There can be fever and respiratory symptoms such as cough and shortness of breath. In more severe cases, there's been pneumonia, kidney failure, and death. The mortality rate is not known yet. How can we tell whether someone is infected? The infection can be diagnosed by a test called PCR, or polymerase chain reaction. This test identifies the virus based on its genetic fingerprint. There's currently no specific medication for the virus, and treatment is supportive care. There's currently no vaccine to protect against the virus. Treatment and vaccines are in development. How do we prevent transmission of the virus? This new virus currently has a limited geographic spread. However, there are a number of standard hygiene practices that have been recommended to protect against infection and further spread. These include covering your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing with a medical mask, tissue, or flexed elbow, avoiding close contact with those who are unwell, the appropriate use of masks and personal protective equipment, especially in a healthcare setting, washing hands regularly with soap and water or alcohol-based hand rub. Actions that can be taken to prevent infection from an animal source include avoiding unnecessary unprotected contact with animals, washing hands after contact with animals or animal products, and ensuring that animal products are cooked thoroughly before they're consumed. It's important to stay home if you're feeling unwell, but if you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early and share your previous travel history with your healthcare provider. That's a quick look at this emerging infectious disease. Given that this outbreak is evolving rapidly, what's known about this virus can change. Please check the websites below for the most up-to-date information. In December 2019, there was a cluster of pneumonia cases in China. Investigations found that it was caused by a previously unknown virus, now named the 2019 novel coronavirus.
Comment section below, and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Welcome to Displore and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall be taking a look at the top 10 most educated African presidents. The leaders of nations play a great role in deciding the future of the nation. A nation can progress only through decisions of smart and educated leaders. Many nations fail because they have leaders with less knowledge and intellect to make the right decisions for their country. Intelligence and education, as we all know, are indispensable components of good leadership. According to Plato, one of the ancient philosophers, it is believed that a learned leader stands a better chance of doing well more than his uneducated counterpart. Although African countries are rated as underdeveloped countries with sometimes less than general average literacy level, we see a lot of the most highly educated leaders coming from Africa. Over the years, Africa has had some of the most educated presidents in the world, and here are the current ones. Before we dive into the countdown, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Here are the top 10 most educated African presidents in 2019. Number 10. Paul Biya, President of Cameroon. Paul Biya is the second president of the Republic of Cameroon, having resumed office since 1982. And for more than 36 years he has been at the helm of the country. He was born in Vomeka, a small village in the south region of Cameroon. He studied at Lycée Général Leclerc in Yaoundé, where he obtained a baccalaureate, and in France at Lycée Louis le Grand in Paris, going on to Institut des Hautes Études d'Outre-mer, where he graduated in 1961 with a higher education diploma in public law. He's currently one of the most educated presidents in Africa, as well as the second longest serving president on the continent. Number 9. George Carlos Fonseca, President of Cape Verde. George Carlos Fonseca is a Cape Verdean politician, lawyer and university professor who has been president of Cape Verde since 2011. He served as Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1991 to 1993. Supported by the Movement for Democracy, he won the 2011 presidential elections in the second round of voting. George Fonseca completed his primary and secondary education between Praia and Mindelo, and later his higher education in Lisbon, Portugal. He has a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Lisbon in Portugal and a master's degree in legal science, Faculty of Law from the same university, making him one of the most educated current African presidents. Number 8. Hage Geingob, President of Namibia. Hage Geingob is the third and current president of Namibia. He's been in office since the 21st of March 2015. Geingob was the first Prime Minister of Namibia from the 21st of March 1990 to the 28th of August 2002 and served as Prime Minister again from the 4th of December 2012 to the 21st of March 2015. He received his early education at Otavi in Southwest Africa under the Bantu education system. He later joined the Augustinium, where most of today's prominent political leaders of Namibia were educated. President Geingob has a Bachelor of Arts degree from Fordham University, New York, and a Master of Arts in International Relations from Graduate Faculty in the New School, New York. Number 7.
George Weah, President of Liberia. George Weah is a former professional footballer currently serving as the 25th President of Liberia, having taken office in 2018. Prior to his election as president, Weah served as senator for Montserrado County. During his football career, he played as a striker and is the first and only African player to have won the FIFA Ballon d'Or. Weah attended Muslim Congress and High School at Wales Hairston High School. He has a BA in Sports Management from Parkwood University in London. George Weah also has a degree in Business Administration from Devry University in Miami and a master's degree in management from Keller's Graduate School of Management, putting him on the list of the most educated presidents in Africa. Number 6. Faure Gnassingbe, President of Togo. Faure Gnassingbe is a Togolese politician who's been the president of Togo since 2005. Before assuming the presidency, he was appointed by his father, President Gnassingbe Eyadema, as Minister of Equipment, Mines, Post and Telecommunications, serving from 2003 to 2005. He became the president of Togo in 2005 after the death of his father. Gnassingbe is one of the most educated presidents in Africa. He has a degree in financial management from the University of Sorbonne in France and a master's degree in business administration from George Washington University in the United States. Number 5. Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, President of Mali. Ibrahim Keïta is a Malian politician who has been the president of Mali since 2013. Previously, he was the Prime Minister of Mali from 1994 to 2000 and the President of the National Assembly of Mali from 2002 to 2007. He founded the political party Rally for Mali in 2001. His administration focuses on one key goal, and that is to eliminate corruption entirely from the country. For this reason, he swears not to tolerate even the slightest dishonesty. Ibrahim Keïta studied at Lycée Janson de Sailly in Paris and Lycée Askia Mohamed in Bamako. He fathered at the University of Dakar, the University of Paris 1 and the Institut d'Histoire des Relations Internationales Contemporaines. Ibrahim Keïta has 3 degrees in Political International Relations, History and Political Science, including graduate degree in Political Science and International Relations. He also has a master's degree in History. Number 4. Alassane Ouattara, President of Ivory Coast. Alassane Ouattara has been President of Ivory Coast since 2010. He was born on the 1st of January 1942 in Zimbokro. His academic qualifications and experiences in financial institutions seem to have given him the best chance to succeed in his presidential bid. Luckily, The Economist hasn't disappointed in showing strength in reviving and sustaining Ivory Coast's economic situation, with its economic growth ranked as one of the biggest in Africa. He received a Bachelor of Science degree in 1965 from the Drexel Institute of Technology, which is now called Drexel University in Philadelphia. Ouattara then obtained both his master's degree in economics in 1967 and a PhD in economics in 1972 from the University of Pennsylvania. Number 3. Peter Mutharika, President of Malawi. Peter Mutharika is a Malawian politician, educator and lawyer who has been president of Malawi since the 31st of May 2014. Mutharika has worked globally in the field of international justice. He is an expert on international law, international economic law and comparative constitutional law. Peter Mutharika has a good academic qualification that partly won him a seat at Malawi's presidency in 2004. Mutharika received his law degree from the University of London in 1965. He then received his LLM and PhD degrees from Yale University in 1966 and 1969 respectively. As a professor, he has taught in the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Haile Selassie University in Ethiopia, Rutgers University in the United States, and the United Nations Institution for Training and Research Program for Foreign Service Officers from Africa and Asia at Makerere University in Uganda, and for 37 years at Washington University in the USA, and has served as an academic visitor at the London School of Economics, UK. He also served as advisor to the American Bar Association's Rule of Law initiative in Africa. Number 2. King Mohammed VI of Morocco. Mohammed VI is the king of Morocco. He is a member of the Alawid dynasty and ascended the throne on the 23rd of July 1999 upon the death of his father, King Hassan II. As the king of Morocco, he is the superpower of Morocco and the one in charge of appointing the prime minister of the country. Mohammed completed his primary and secondary studies at Collège Royal and obtained his baccalaureate in 1981 before gaining a bachelor's degree in law at the Mohammed V University in Agdal in 1985. In 1987, Mohammed obtained his first Certificat des études supérieures in political science, and in July 1988 he obtained a Diplôme des études approfondies in public law. In November 1988, he trained in Brussels with Jacques Delors, then President of the European Commission. Number 1. John Magufuli, President of Tanzania. He is a Tanzanian politician and the President of Tanzania since 2015. He is also the chairman of the Southern African Development Community. Magufuli started his education at the Chateau Primary School from 1967 to 1974 and went on to the Katoke Seminary in Biharamulo for his secondary education from 1975 to 1977 before relocating to Lake Secondary School in 1977 and completing in 1978. He joined Nkwawa High School for his A-levels in 1979 and completed in 1981. That same year, he joined Kwawa College of Education for a diploma in education science, majoring in chemistry, mathematics, and education. He also earned his master's and doctorate degree in chemistry from the University of Dar es Salaam in 1994 and 2009 respectively. There you have it, Explorers. Those were the top 10 most educated presidents in Africa in 2019. Let us know in the comment section below who amongst these presidents is your favorite and why. The best comment will be pinned. Thanks for watching this video. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, please leave your suggestion in the comment section below and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Welcome to Explorer and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall be taking a look at the top 10 most educated African presidents. The leaders of nations play a great role.
Okay, there you have it. We'll try to showcase some of the beauty of Liberia and Africa as a whole to explore it. That was quite fascinating. The President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Weah, the 7th educated president, the 10th, he's in the first 7. Okay, George, good evening and welcome. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, so good that you here. The first segment, all things considered, by 10 o'clock, hopefully to 9:45, will be wrapping all here this evening here. But let me just come to something I know we're going to hit on the national front here. But you are Obongese and you've been monitoring what is coming out of Ibon County. What are your citizens doing? It's better to get the people the heads up, the preparation relative to the Phoebe Hospital.
Okay, we know that Phoebe Hospital has been challenged over the years. So citizens from Bon County have gathered together and decided to raise some money. Their goal is 50,000 to assist the hospital. And I think next week will be the official kick-off. And you have Mr. One Dennis Gashini is in Minnesota, and one George Toto. I think along with others, it will be spearheading the process. And Liberia Public Radio have agreed to give them that publicity to raise awareness within the community. Now I want to stress this. I am not part of that committee, but I'm facilitating for the committee to come on board to create that awareness to appeal to people. So, but let me stress this. The issue is national. When they say bomb country, I tell people bomb country does not belong to the Pele people alone. We have the Mano, we have the Basa, we have the Mandingos, you have the Pele. And there are other tribes that have farms in Bomb County. So by virtue of that, all those people now are citizens of Bomb County.
I know.
And there are people who went to Cottington. And those people I know, many of them went to Phoebe to get treatment. So by virtue of that, we will be appealing to all these people, not just people from Bomb County, but someone from Liberia of goodwill to come to the rescue of Phoebe Hospital and the people of Bomb County. Because I see some of what we are saying, pictures from the hospital. There are reports that I cannot authenticate whether it is true or not. But I don't want to dwell on that side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the humanitarian side, that they will be coming out to ask citizens from Bomb County and people of Liberia to come to the rescue of that hospital. Because Phoebe Hospital now is the hospital, everybody in Bomb County, everything is Phoebe. Everything is Phoebe. So we know that national government is challenged, but at the same time, the citizens and people of goodwill has a responsibility to come to the aid of the hospital, and that is the people of Bomb County. So as I said, next week, you'll be having Mr. George Toto, Dennis Cassini, and I think they will also bring somebody from the hospital, some administrator, someone who can speak on behalf of the hospital. So once the modality is worked out by next week, all these people will be on different platforms appealing to people of goodwill. As a matter of fact, someone just called me from a different county.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, oh, hold on. I said, I supposed to be joining somebody to raise awareness about raising funds from Phoebe Hospital. And she said, oh, I went to Cottington. In fact, I was treated at that hospital. So just let me know next week. I will chip in. So you can see, just from talking to somebody who is not even from Bomb County, but went to Cottington. And he said, oh, one time I got caught, I went to Phoebe and they treated me. So I will help. So these are the kind of things we're talking about. So we'll be asking people to help. It is a challenge for the hospital, and not just for the hospital, but for the people of Bomb County. We know how the hospital has assisted people in that area. Phoebe Hospital was a hospital that everybody from Nima, Bomb, Lofa came to for treatment. But today, they are very challenged. I mean, I had heard a story from your correspondent, talking to somebody. A lady said she has to pay 12,000 Liberian dollars for a hospital to be treated. Then they asked her to go buy fuel over it. Can you imagine how much these people are making for living in those areas to raise 12,000 Liberian dollars?
Not to cut you off, Mr. George. I think hearing this sort of story here, that was a pivotal movement at this time that for you and others, Bungis, to step into the gap is like, you know what, we're going to put aside partisan. We got to go back to our community. We got to give back to our county. I guess that was the decision-making point, the turning point. I haven't heard this sort of story that you're telling us.
Yes. I mean, when I listened to your correspondent in Banga talking to the lady, I was like, this is serious. Because someone in that community to raise 12,000 Liberian dollars, take your family to the hospital. Then they say, okay, but you got to buy fuel again. Where is that money coming from to buy fuel? And it's the same story over and over. Everybody are telling. Somebody said they carry a husband there 2 days. They're looking for money to buy fuel. So just imagine in that kind of situation. I mean, what can they do? You know, and I understand the doctors want to help, the nurses want to help, but if they don't have the equipment,
they just can't do anything.
They can't do anything. Even gloves, the people complain about gloves in the hospital. Now, can you imagine? With all the viruses going around, diseases, if these people cannot have gloves, how the hospital will run? How would they help people? So it is in that vein that next week, with the courtesy of Liberian Public Radio, that Mr. Gashini, Mr. Toto, whoever will be bringing, will come on board to officially launch the fund drive to help Phoebe Hospital and the people of Bonkwande and its surrounding villages and towns. So I think that where we stand now.
Okay. Are you into the leadership, or do you have an idea how many citizens, in terms of the number of Bond County citizens? Because the thing, what I believe in too, is that you who are the direct beneficiary in the sense that this facility is situated in Bond County, and there will be no reason why a son or a daughter will not take the lead. But don't get me wrong. I think all of us, everybody, this is more or less it's a national cause. Phoebe Hospital is not only serving people in Bond County, but how many? Do you know the number of citizens of Bond County citizens? Is there an association? I believe they got a Bond County association, correct?
Yeah, they have a Bond County association, and let me be frank.
Is the administration are they involved, or is just generally the citizens of Bond County going to be in this one year?
I don't know what are the leadership, and when Mr. Toto come on, he will be able to elaborate on that because he knows all the leadership, the national chapter chairman, all the things. He's the one connected all these people. So when he come on, then we'll be able to ascertain from him what is the leadership. But I want to be very specific. This Dennis Gashini man, I don't know him. I've not met him personally. But I have been for I think last year or so, I saw this man taking consignment of drugs or medical supply to Liberia.
Yeah, he's actually involved. There was a story. I think he runs either an NGO, his sister, because our guy Bertin has been making a story, and I talked to him. I even chatted with him before. I remember the name now very well. He in Minnesota.
Yeah, and when I saw the story at the time last year, I was trying to get in touch with him because I said, this man got to be someone who is really helping the country, the people, because doing this on his own, I don't know what other people have been chipping in, but I said, the matter of fact that I see him doing this kind of thing, I need to get in touch with him. Until then, I never, but then last week, browsing through Facebook, then I saw this go for me. Then I saw his name, then I texted him. I said, oh, hi, sir, this is I want to get in touch with you. But then I called Mr. Toto. I said, do you know this young man? He said, oh, yes. I said, but I saw some posts. He said, oh, but I'm part of that committee. Then that when I came out, I said, but then this is a national issue. What you people started is good, but we need to bring it to the front burner. So at least not only people from Bond County, but other people could help. People who are members of the Lutheran Church could help because the Lutheran Church, they Phoebe. So, and the church now, I think, is a little bit challenged on cash, so they cannot fully support the hospital. And national government is not coming in as supposed to be. So I said, then we have to go publicly to ask people. So yeah, somebody may be part of the Lutheran Church. They could also donate because they could chip in because the hospital was built by the Lutheran Church. So that when they said, oh, but then that's a good idea. And I said, okay, get in touch with Mr. Gashini. And he did. He said, okay. Then I called him. We spoke. He said, oh, that's a brilliant idea. We'll be willing to come on to appeal to people. So this is where now we are. So the national organization, maybe when they come, we may ask them,
right,
what are the national organization of bomb citizens, whether they are on board. If they're on board, what can they do to bring them on board?
Absolutely.
Because it is the national cause. It's not just for Mr. Gashini or Mr. Toto.
Right. Yeah,
it's everybody from Bond County got some connection. He either knows somebody or somebody knows somebody that will go to that hospital to get treatment. So that's where we stand now.
Wow. Well, it's all right. And we are here. This is part of, I think this is all of us should be, is part of the community engagement we are in. as launched. I believe the director, just before I came on air this evening, were chatting from Baum County, and hopefully we'll be getting on here. And as launched, all the power players or interest groups fully involved. That's something we won't hesitate to do. We all have to do everything to give back here. Okay, so with the last few minutes, let's pivot to the order of the day. As usual, politics. You saw the images coming from Liberia today?
No, oh yeah, press union.
The press union.
Yes, Mr. So. This is why we have been seeing, and you have people say, "Oh, President Weah is the champion of freedom, no press freedom. He's the champion of press freedom." He did, but look at what the few time that the press union has been going on. They have come on a severe attack on government, and you can see it. The 2019 report from the American Embassy. I don't know whether you are seeing that report.
I saw it.
It
Human rights. I saw that report.
Look at that report. That is devastating to the government of Liberia.
I think I was kind of partially on it this morning in my first segment of the program, and because that just gave a bad presentation, bad image to see the report, and coupled with what was unfolding. It's not about who wrong, who right, but the idea to see what was happening today does not just give a good reflection to national government.
It doesn't. And look at journalists, the guy, Kataya, whoever I think, was just beaten day before yesterday by a police officer again. Yeah? It's the EPS, it's the police. So the question now, I wonder what President Weah government is going to do.
But I think the good thing here, okay, so let me just intercept you a little bit. The position, and this is what I'm saying. If you have a protest, make sure that there's an ultimate, there must be a funder, there must be an end result of your protest or whatever match or how you want to term it to be, to present a resolution. And that's what I think PUL did today. One was presented. I think it was well organized. It was planned. There was no issue. They went to Capitol. They present it. They present one copy, the same copy to the lawmakers, and they decided to do one that was received by the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, who was a very close ally to the president. And I heard that clearly on the video. By Wednesday, today is what? It's Thursday. By Wednesday, there will be a redress. I think that's where the issue is. What sort of redress they're going to be? What sort of action they're going to do? That's what we don't know. But what are you anticipating hearing?
Mr. So, it's not words are good, but the two we want tangible actions. What they're going to say, oh yes,
what sort of action? Tangible. What you consider tangible, Mr. George?
Okay. People, you see, and this is why I was listening to one of the talk show hosts who was saying something. He was giving something yesterday or something like one time he was slapping the chair, this and that. We know our journalists always rush to get news from political leaders. We know that. I mean, sometimes we see security shopping people. That's a different thing. But when security, physical, he knows someone. Bring the person down on the ground, kick the person, blood the person. That is not shopping. That is an assault on that person. So it should not be that. Now, what I want to see here is they can come out and say, okay, we understand, yes, we do that, we didn't know. What I want is that, what we want to see is that if a security personnel intentional, physical manhandle a journalist, that officer should be prosecuted. There should be no call for that person, because if you don't do so, you are not sending a clear message. Then on the PUL side, there should be public education, awareness to members of the PUL that these are the lines that you people should not cross. But even if sometimes these things happen, Mr. I think the officers can just say, hey, like, there's a way The officers should be trained to block people from reaching to the leader without causing any physical harm to anybody. But it seems that these officers don't care. It's like they see the press as enemy. This is what happened because that's how they all react. So I know the Minister of State or the President, the office will come and say, okay, yes, we are advising our officers not to do this. We take all the measures. But how sure are we that these officers are going to listen to the bosses? They will only listen when someone is being prosecuted from that group to say, no, you cannot go about this. You cannot physically manhandle people like this. The guy, the blood yesterday, the man was in the PUL jacket. So then one more again that you want to see before you respect the press. One more. And it has become a pattern for them beating journalists, taking their equipment, seizing it. So this has become fun. So if they say they're going to respond, fine. We want to see the response. But then the next thing is, what would be the disciplinary measure put in place that when any of the officer crosses the line, that they will be challenged? They will be prosecuted. What would be that? And that's what we want to see. You can write all the fine line. Yeah, we will hear this. We will hear our officer. They can. We know that paper and pen. They will do all the good work. They will write all the good words. But if someone go above that, will they hold that officer responsible? You saw it in that Miller case. What is there? They deny everything. But finally, later, then they came to admit, oh, yes, something did happen. Then the name officer that was involved. You see that? So these are things we are seeing. It was organized. It was done professionally by the press union. Now we wait to see the government not just a response, but what action will be taken against these officers who are in a constant habit of brutalizing journalists. Look at the girl, the teen girl at the police station. A female journalist was detained by these people.
So where do you think the disconnect is coming from? There's something they call media and government relationship. And part of that, I think it is the Ministry of Information should be able to enhance the coordinate relationship with the media and national government. These two institutions must be able to collaborate, to work together. I know there will be the differences. The government, by and largely, depends on both electronics and print media to expand their messages. I don't know how many of them really got that, but if you have a deputy minister for public affairs who directly coordinate the affairs of the media institution, the PULs and other media and that of the ministry and to national government, is one of those who consistently and repeatedly from time to time bam of the media. It makes it very difficult to have this sort of relationship well cemented.
Yeah, but Mr. So you can see the deputy minister for you see how he speaks, the tone. So that set or that laid the premise for violence against journalists. Because if the deputy minister of information would go to security apparatus, the director of police, the EPS director, and say, look, these people are here to do a piece of job. We are intertwined. We need them, they need us. But these are the lines that your security people they're not supposed to cross. And these are the areas the press is supposed to be. But if that information or that education is not there, and security forces, especially around the president, see the press as an enemy because these guys know these guys.
Is that how you feel? Do you think is that a sort of guess we can make here? There's a security apparatus in Liberia, especially we now in our conversation down here. Is that how you see it? That they see the press as the enemy?
Oh, of course. That's from the action you can see. You can see it. Why they go after certain press people? These are people that they feel that are critical of the government. That's why they go after certain press people. They will not look at these people that, oh no, maybe the person trying to balance the story. No, they don't look at it. They look at certain individuals. These people are the people. So anything that happens, those are the people to go to get. Using that means to get to those people.
Right.
That's it. Why they don't beat someone from what the FN, I don't know what FN Sheku Sheridan? Why they don't attack Sheku Sheridan?
The man who caused the vice president.
Yeah, why they don't attack them? Why they don't attack him?
So
they got no
let make a
decisions.
let make a guess game here with the few with the limited time here. If a national government were to sit with the PUL today, and my guess the Ministry of Justice will be part of that conference. Maybe the Commissioner of Police will be part of that conference. And if you were to represent in the interest of the PUL, what will you be putting forward?
Well, I think I would just tell the government that don't take us to be enemy of the state. We are here to promulgate to carry a message. We owe the community, the society at large, to bring.
Is it fair to
government
say
message.
that there are other school of thoughts have been saying that the media has antagonized the George Weah-led government? Probably is one of the reasons, which of course is not a justifiable reason, to get them to get engaged into what they are doing. Is that talking point, does it hold any dip of water?
No. What is the duty of the press? The press serves as a watchdog. Now, today, when they report good about you, then you say, okay. But when they say something that they find you, then you say, oh, no, they don't like me. And that is the problem, too. So how do you balance that? That is the challenge we have. Everything, if you say today is all good about the government, then you are a friend of the government. But tomorrow, when you say the government is winning, they say you are enemy. Look what, for example, and the Labour Progressive is now saying that people don't want to come to because they say they're not pro-government on radio LPR. And can you see that?
I was shocked. I sensed that out because Smith told me the solo cabot, we are all friends. This was his classroom, so we were all from the same school. In fact, we're at the conference in Minnesota. There are tons of text messages here with even Smith agreeing at a certain point in time to come. Eugene Fagon, who was one of our regular during the heat of the campaign when he was here. But now probably the language, our language, they have make a conclusion that people do not like the government, and that's not the case. I don't know how people can just come to that sort of conclusion.
Here's the problem. Because people are fair and balanced. So when you critique them, they say, oh no, we can't go there again. Or the one that everything that they say it should be roses, that you should not investigate, you should not ask a hard question. Now take for example the issue with this road issue. Now you know that is Mr. Toll expertise. Now you see how he has been laying all the issues. They would not. I told him because the last time I said, Mr. Toll, none of the people come to the program again. Because I told him from the beginning. And I said, none of the people will come on the program, on the platform again. Because what you laying on now to the Liberian people, you are educating and challenging the government to say, hey, I want to see further proof. To tell me how these people going to get this thing done. Now they don't. So from that point now, Mr. Toll now has become one enemy of the government.
He's not one of us.
He's not. Because one, he's not singing. He say, oh yeah, the bridge, yeah, we want the development. Nobody should say anything. Let the people go ahead. Now he been doing some research. The company got no track record, no internet, no web page, nothing of this company.
I offered the minister of immediately after the groundbreaking ceremony, and I know the groundbreaking ceremony. That's not a perfect venue to where a full disclosures of the project will be unveiled. It's just going to be the summary because there's officials, it's kicking off. which of course I extended an invitation to Minister Nyimpan. He consented. We exchanged text messages here and there all night, and we came up with a time frame that suited him because considering the time zone, yeah, ministers, they are basic guys. I said, suggest a time. I want to go with it. He put out his son. I said, okay, we're gonna go with it. And at the end of the day, he did not show up. Hey, up to this point in time, there was no message sent to say, oh, because of XY reason, I could not honor that interview, but we can reschedule. Nothing like that.
Now you see, these are the issues we talk about the press. You contacted the Minister of Public Works. He said yes. He consented, agree upon time. Now, he didn't show up. Now, when you dream the story, what do you expect, or would they expect from you? Okay. What do they expect from you? To say, the first thing you say, I did everything I could to get in touch with the minister, but to no avail. Now, when you carry the story, they will want to blame you that you were not fair. But you have exerted every effort.
That was February the 21st. That was today is the what? March 12th or 13 now, almost.
Yeah.
That was on the 21st. In fact, it's after the date, the morning hour, that was around almost 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock a.m., which was almost early dawn in Liberia when we had that interaction. But well, one of these days we will still. We're not going to give up. Maybe they are basic. We're going to give it time. We want to give them the benefit of the doubt to have these sort of discussions. Let me see here. Very bad condition. It is unfair for the people. What Fremont Wayet Molba? I say Phoebe Hospital is in very bad condition. It is very unfair to the people of Bon County, not just on the Bon County. I mean, to humanity as well, and to Liberia. Even though Bon County people are feeling the heat because it's right there. And so all of us, I think we all can chip in and do something, and then we can later on put finger in the throats of the government. So I think the citizens of Bon County, they are moving in the right direction. They must be able to give back to their community, to give back to their county. Okay, well, Josh, is there a final word before we wrap up, before we let you go this evening?
I just want to appeal to people from Bon County and the people of Liberia. I know the people of Liberia have tremendous goodwill, and by next week, we'll be rolling out this fundraising for the Phoebe Hospital. So I know the message is going. People are now responding. So I know definitely we'll be able to hit the target that we're talking about. And I just want to butcher a statement that you started yesterday and today again. This notion that people in the diaspora have not done nothing for Liberia.
I don't understand.
It's the talking point of few guys sitting down in Morovia on the beer table. This is why they are poisoning the people mind against us. That we in America, we don't do nothing, and we are not doing nothing for Liberia. Because we don't take the money, or people don't take personal money and give it to them. Look at St. Patrick. Peter Arden, all the people, University of Liberia, the people, the organization, and raise money institution. But you got people stay trashing people in America. What do people do for Liberia? What have they done, or what are they doing? What do these people expect? To go to help one person? St. Patrick, 300,000 project, those people are undertaking. How many people in Liberia can raise that money to do that kind of project? But still the bad people, or the people in America, what they're doing, what they not do for their country. This is wrong. And that there are people who in Liberia, few group of people who is sowing the seed of hatred between people in the diaspora and those in Liberia.
Right.
There are people in Liberia who are selling this thing to people in Liberia, to the larger public in Liberia, making them understand that people in America don't do anything for this country. They are not doing anything. That is the narrative they have been able to create in Liberia. There are many Liberians who are helping people in different parts. This guy they call Otuda Gateman. That young man have built worlds in Basel, Nima, got over, I think, 400 students on scholarship. What do they expect? Because
No,
these people
oh,
don't get on
because
platform.
Mr. A didn't get, so it means if C gets something that's none of his business. And
Yeah.
it's like the CA, like people are forced to do what they are doing. You did not buy anybody ticket to send them here. You did not use some. You don't know the story of many people how they came, and even people that are here, what they are going through. And I kind of quite agree with you. That's the understanding I kind of gathered when I was there. Moreover, these people they are so protective of their job. They feel very insecure that someone coming from the diaspora, the essence when they leave from here, everybody going there to look for job. That's not it. And even if they are looking for job, each and every citizen has the right to work for their country. What you take, why you are taking on the table, to your commitment to your country. That's what matters. It's not this person not supposed to work. You don't have dominion over the country. It's all about the country. The people fled the country for a variety of reasons, and they are being helped. They have contributed to the economic strength and the GDP of that country, but they don't see it that way. They have just created a sort of fear tactics in the people to monger it and hatred, bitterness, resentment. And the people in the America, the people in America, go see Ghana. Have you heard the stories about Ghanaians, about what going on within their own side called Nigerian? Ghana been developed long time. The development of Ghana is not yesterday, is not today. Nigeria as well. The resources has been there. They corrupt, but they are to some extent the country is developed. But they demonize the people, the community in the diaspora here. Ebola Liberians were there. People raised money. People sending money to their family. Directly, indirectly, family in turn gives something to other friends. But they don't even see that. And that's what I was telling the other gentleman the other day. Most of the time he goes around, show people to houses,
Yeah,
cornerstones, this
that's
and that.
nonsense.
So I say,
That's
yes,
nonsense.
it's true. But have you also gone there to see how many Liberians in the diaspora here, their own personal homes, the investments, and some people giving to the orphanage and schools and all of that. Have you took time to go out there to showcase those things, or you just grab the ugly part and show it? I mean, that's just unfair. I don't think that is right.
It is unfair. I remember in Atlanta, Ebola, this list, Yasini then, Leo Morvan, these people were in the forefront, raising money to send things to Liberia. And none of them mentioned this thing. They all know people in the diaspora, what they're doing there. What they're doing there. They don't help the people. And that narrative they have sold to some segment of the society, and they have bought into it. And they have been able to capitalize and they demonize people. As you said, so many people, they don't know how some people got here. So if someone take the fast and contribute to something, appreciate it.
I know.
But they tend to demonize every Liberian in this country. That Liberians are not serious people. We are not serious people. Okay. But because you didn't get directly, so that but think on the larger or beneficial of this in the population. That's why you should think now. Or because even if you get, but you are not satisfied because you are not being put in front, so you can grab what you can grab for yourself. This is where the jealous is coming.
Okay, before I go here, this is what, let me just share with you what one Woodman Dewey is writing. Say, Mr. Tota, this is so Toto. Okay, that's and that man a liberal man. He and myself can't get on that much. This is what Mr. Dewey is writing. He said the groundbreaking ceremony for constructions of Era 8 ELWA rule was intended to divert Liberians' attention from the shortage of gasoline in Liberia at the time. That, Mr. Dewey, I don't know. I really don't have an empirical evidence that was the case. That's what I've been hearing. That's what people been saying. And but I like to hear it from the house's mouth. I just do not like to make a circumstantial guess on issues and draw the conclusions. But believe me or not, you have the right to your opinions, to your view. And people believe these things when people cannot come forward to explain and to make it. You see, that's where sometimes, Pa George, I kind of get annoyed with people that are speaking for the government and people that are speaking for the opposition. This is why Prince Sherry, the class D, who they're calling on people, other people to kill people for whatever reason because of their disagreement, because of their own political association. These are things they're supposed to take time to explain. We want to welcome our Mother Aunt Helen Salmon, very nice lady. This is a lady that I've offered a place to LPR. Years we have been there, not a dime. So we have real patriotic. It is when you look at person that you say the person not doing for the country. I don't get it, but because these people do not get individual money, and this is the notion that we're supposed to we're trying to erase, So that's the situation. They're supposed to be preaching the agendas of the government, what the government is doing. I try to season and sharpen the government's message. They are not doing that. They are also making fuss with people who they're supposed to get in across to the art to work to do things together. And the opposition does that at times. They have their people, they focus most only on the negative aspects of the government when they should be talking on the positive aspect of their candidate that they will be supporting comes elections or senatorial. So everybody's acting like chicken with our hair. Pa George, what's your last word before I take leave of you?
And I just want to leave on the note again to appeal to the people of Liberia, mostly people from Bum County. As I said, it's not where people want. We got the Mandingos, we have the Bassos, we have the Mano. So all these people that have farmed there, all of you people now are part of Bum County. So the hospital, indirectly or directly, cater to everybody. They go across travel line. Because when you're sick, the doctor not going to ask you what tribe you're coming from.
No.
Or you want to get treatment. So I'm begging all the different groups to see reason to prevail to help us so we can give back to our people. So next week, we're going to kick off the program. So I just want to say thank you to you, the management and staff of Liberian Public Radio, and to the Liberian people. We look forward from hearing from them by next week. Thank you.
Okay, that's the voice of Mr. Amos George, who is a contributor here to senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. And this is why for us, to all of the members of the Cash Out Federation here in the USA, because some people, you just get and give money. You don't even ask why you're giving your money for. Yes, you work for it. You're not answerable to me, which of course is natural, but sometimes you have to get a second thought to what you are investing into. And some of you give and say, well, we give it because they ask, so you assume the person going to do it. When I'm asking you for money, I must be able to provide authentic, a genuine reason for which I'm asking for the money. Yes. Ask all of the tough questions. Ask all of the hard questions. Ask what going to be the repercussions if you give and that is nothing is done. That's why you see here at Liberia Public Radio, we don't easily put our cash up. So very suddenly, it must be for a reason. For the most part, we always engage in conducting fundraiser. And before we even carry out, we make sure that we just receive a request again from the group calling it the Grand Gated Women Association in Liberia. They say they want to build a community hall. The president, the lady, they called me and say, yes, before I can do it, I want to make sure whether the land, do you even have the land now, or you just want to give the money before you start buying the land? Look, before people help you, you got to help yourself. Be scratching your back and let me put the water there, then the dye can come out. You don't expect me to wash your back at the same time I'm putting the water there. What are you doing? You just standing up? No, it doesn't work that way. And I told them, you have to send me out of the paperwork in terms of your deed, your copy, or something tangible that will be convincing. I don't want to stand in a gap here tomorrow and raise money that cannot be properly accounted for. It is not our style. We do not intend to do that here. We see ourselves as Liberia Public Radio to represent the true image of the country. And this is why we are not selective in having our conversation with people. We bring everybody here to equal to voice. You speak your mind as long civility is in you. As long you behave like a normal being, that's what sets us apart from animal. God gives all five senses. We must be rational. We must be thoughtful. We are created in His own unique image, in His own unique beauty and sense. So we must behave like a human beings. But the challenges in the country is all of us. Yes, the elephant in the room today is George Weah. But you know what? The going could get tough, and the tough could get going. And George Weah say, "I'm out of here. In fact, let me come and go to Jamaica now and go sit down." And we take Alexander Comey, we take Benana Ure, we take Joseph Boyka or whoever, and put them there. If we do not change the inner part of ourselves as human beings, if we do not see our country to be the first to prioritize the interests of our country, and we take deception, dishonesty, to always people calculating how to crook other people, they feed the smart, because today is living on technology. So by the time you and your friend try to get into a venture, now you go to bed, you start praying. There's some sort of magnetic senses to come to you how to do that person, because if you do it now, then you smile. And the man says something, I would handle him. Yes, that's how we behave. This is what get the country it is why it is. Nobody is trusted. People here, we are not trusted. People back there, they are not trusted. There are some people, family members, they are invested, they have done a lot to try to help family members. Guess what? The cops are then into deep sea. No result. But the folks back home, I saw that for myself. I have talked to some of them. They have poisoned the minds of our brothers and sisters. They have demonized us. And so when you say anything, the only thing they tell you that may be only naked $40, naked $50, naked $100. You're right. You know how many hours people can be hanging before they get that $50, $100 that naked? It's all because people are just people are just in gratitude to people. But please, we're going to be having a fundraiser here. If you are a citizens of Bond County, and if you are a patriotic Liberian. The story, it came out, and we've been following this. I hope to be having the director from the Phoebe Hospital, Phoebe Hospital itself. Can you imagine? You take your family person to the hospital, and you have to go find fuel before that person can get his or get her surgery. And this person in the window are going around to get fuel, just to fuel the generator in order to administer the surgery before they could even get there. The person pass. That's how serious it is. And we sit down, we don't even think. Yeah, this deadly virus is in Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria have it. People going in and out. Imagine this great country, how they are struggling to combat it. So God forbid. God forbid. What will happen? So we get a lot of huge challenges ahead of us. And we want to call on the government, the oppositions, so they can find their differences. But we plead that the interest of the country must be paramount. And that's what I see lacking in that country. Opposition corrupt, government corrupt, citizen corrupt, all of us corrupt. So who gonna fix it? That's the problem. Messengers stealing government property because they see their bosses taking it. Government seems to be the least thing in this country here. Everybody wants to work for the state because of the benefit, because of the things that are attached to it. But for us, we go in government to enrich themselves. And that's why sometimes I wonder this whole president, do you have to be a president before you can effect a change in Liberia? I don't think so. We are crying the lawmakers, rubber stamp, they are not doing the right thing. So if this is the case, why Mr. Alexander Cumming can't even contest to be a senator to put some pieces of legislation in place to change some of these things? Why Benena Ure don't want to be a senator or representative? John Casey of Ohio contested for the Republican seat. He did not win. What happens? He returned to his hometown of Ohio and ran for governorship. And he became governor 2 terms. The list goes on and on and on. But our people, they only want to be in the highest up because the presidency has the dominion authority over all functionaries of government. And they want to preside over state resources to enrich themselves. So be it the opposition, the government, folks, all of them, we must hold them accountable. We shouldn't see later to years and when they are making progress, we can say it, but we cannot draw the conclusion. Politicians are very unpredictable. You know then in the twinkle of an eye, the next time their actions they are doing is unbelievable. And then you get a tartan. You will never you can't even say I don't expect it. No, because you did not give a second thought because you were not critical of them. So all of these people, we must ask them tough questions. We must see the authenticity in them, the genuineness of the love for the country. They all faking profess that they love Liberia, but they don't. How many times have we not been told of these people here that if we trust them, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do? How many times can we be fooled? July 26th is ahead. The country will be 173 years old. One of the oldest African republic. Look at the disparity among the people. See how much our lawmakers. I had a privilege to interview my state representative, David Cicilline, then Congressman David Cicilline. And you see, I'm shocked that Liberian lawmakers they are making more poor country like that. The lawmakers are making more than the Congress and congressmen and women in the U.S. and the ordinary teachers, doctors, nurses. They barely get it. They can't even get their salary. Their uniform all faded up. But yet and stay for the love of the country. These people stand in the street in the Douala at red light. And they're still working. You know, corruption going on. Yes, because the people are not paid. You expect the man or woman stands in the street there from 7 o'clock in the morning and he going home. He can't carry a plastic bag home. The next thing the child will be coming when they say, Papa come, he say, but let he come. Because he coming, all his hands are shrinking. So nothing there, not even fancy bread in the bag for the child to eat. So as the result, they will give illegal ticket. Money that's supposed to go to government revenue, it goes in their pocket because they have to feed their family and they have to come back to work. It's all because those that are in authority are not doing anything to improve, to make the field interesting. This is why armed robbery, all of these things are going on. We came from another volatile and fragile situation, a desperate civil war. People are not properly demobilized. People are traumatized in that country. Don't see people dressed, put on tie, they're looking all right. You don't know what's going on in the inner part. Things that are going on, the calculations, their nerves are beating twice than the normal time. It's because of the effect of the war. But our people are not even thinking about the rehabilitation institution to build to help these people to go there. And this is why you see young children, people all in the street all day, south, sinking. And they are being used by politicians for their own selfish aim. Until we can create a platform, a network, where there will be a maximum to real outreach to talk to these people, Because some of them, they are not of their natural self. You must understand that. It's not going to be an overnight thing. We can't get mad. We can't frown on them. We can't desire them. There's a saying that says there's no bad bush for a child. They are from the country. I don't care what you do. You can't send them to Cote d'Ivoire. You can't send them to Guinea. You can't send them to Ghana. They only went there to over there for refuge. But it is their country. If you watch some of the videos, like one I saw the other day, the other man said when he takes in drug, it's stimulating, it make him feel happy. Then he even want to kill human being. Can you imagine? Who in their normal senses would say that? He wants to kill human being because when he killing human being, it's like he killing the fly. That country is hurt and the country is cursed. The blood that wasted in that country. It's not easy. I think God is still giving us a second chance. Other than that, maybe that country have been destroyed. And it's still happening. People killing, raping children, children. People are disappearing, giving people drugs and abusing them. And those abusers are still around. The psychological and emotional effect is flowing, is running through the eyes and minds of the people. The very people that hurt them, they see them on a daily basis and they can't do anything. That itself is it reawaken the wounds. It brings it in retrospect. It brings things memory to them, and sometimes they end up doing things out of the way. What are we doing? What is national government doing? What all of us doing? What the opposition doing? What all of these millions NGOs, what are they doing in terms of giving these people help? I'm not talking about putting them somewhere when relief or something come. There's very people take it, and then by the time you go look, that's the end of the institution. You're gone dead. But until we can have a civil and genuine conversation about our country, to agree and disagree, avoid calling names. All of us, directly, indirectly, we participated in the war by either pointing fingers at someone and it causes the life of that person, or by even aligning yourself with something or with a group of people that harm another group of people. So the complexities of Liberia is huge. It's huge. So many factors are connected. Until we can renew our mind and say, you know what? This is the only country that we have. Without this country, there's nowhere that we can go. So we need to come to our senses. And I hope the national government, they will take the lead because they have the authority. They have the greater portion to play. People who are forcibly, this is no wartime, that are taking other people's lives for no reason. These people must pay the consequences. The rule of law must be enforced at all times. A couple of years ago, in my own state here, the city mayor, police kept the pulling over because he was driving his other car and he was driving recklessly, only to find out the day his something test he was drunk. They pulled him over and he was thrown in the back of the police car. I'm saying, city mayor, can that happen in Liberia? Certain people are victims of the law and other people are victor. So right there's a disproportionality of society. All of that is a problem. Until we can have honest, God-fearing, sincere people in that country to lead. And this is what people, the oppositions, ordinary citizens, we need to start having the genuine conversation for God to open our eyes. But some people, even if God open their eyes and take a die sheets to put it there because they don't want to see it, they want to have their own way. We need to have a God-fearing person. They say Liberia is a Christian nation, but I don't see that well how a nation can be a Christian nation and the wickedness is so much like that. So then what makes it a Christian nation? I don't think so. I don't believe so. But I do believe we are Christians. But are we living the life of being a Christian? When people are hurt and we are hurting people on a daily basis. What is 8:24 Eastern Standard Time here? Again, the Bond County citizens of Bond County will be carrying other fundraiser here. We will help to facilitate that fundraiser in the interest of humanity for Phoebe Hospital. St. Teresa's Convents and St. Patrick's, they're going to be having a big event. I don't know why going to be the outcome with this coronavirus, and thank God they are stopping people from being in huge crowd, which of course is a health risk issue as well. But whatever the situation is, you can make your contributions as well. So the citizen of Bond County, if you are from Bond, if you are from Lofa, yeah, you're next development. Let's give. I think that's the best time for the Cash App to work. Yes, for so long, the Federation, the Cash App Association, here you have gave. This one you are giving to humanity, to the Phoebe Hospital. It's not about George, we are business. Joy, we are don't go take treatment there. And when Joy, we are sick today, he will fly. But what's about that little person in the village, in town, that who don't even wear slippers? When he or that little child sick, they will go to Phoebe Hospital. That's where you're thinking. That's where your direction should go. What time has caught up with me here this evening? This Thursday evening is 10:25 Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. As usual, we will be back here. Today is Thursday. I will be back here, hopefully by God's willing. It's Sunday on this network. Join the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV, Samson Blocko Toll, in his usual conversation with Samson Toll. Please, let's observe the protocols from CDC. The CDC, this virus is real. We must take it easy with ourselves. You know, some of you here, your families are depending on you. Liberia itself there are a lot of issues going on there, so they are worried as well, and we must pray it with our country, because this is scary. If they can't even get the real vaccine for this, when you're in this country, they can't get the vaccine, then God forbid what happens in Liberia. But you know, God, he is an awesome and patient God. You know, things that you don't have solution, he don't easily throw on you. I know we suffer from Ebola, but hey, what happens? There was a vaccines event here, and so quick people start going, but the people did not even get it here. So we pray, let them find it, but we didn't want to go there. We didn't want to go there. So people fighting hard to find food to eat, and coronavirus, or what kind of virus should be going there? No, we don't want that there. A little tea, good evening and welcome to Evangelist Titus, Evangelist Eliva Titus Dennis, all the prayer warrior, deaconesses and deacon, all the prayer land. That's time to really pray now for your nation. We're not saying pray for joy. We have to move. That's not what I say. We say pray for your nation, for the nation to be healed. It's time to do the real prayer. Folks, thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, I will be back here. See you. Have a pleasant weekend. Hopefully, we will be back here to any news develop. Bye-bye.
Larissa Kede, play a dao, soba, oh yeah, eh, soba, oh yeah, mino, gain, oh yeah, soba, oh yeah. Ibole wo, Ibo Italy wo, Matimbri, play a dale, eh, Matimbri, yeah. Zobla, zobla, oui. Eh, mana, oui. Zobla, 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 oui. Yake, Serge Glaou, l'homme du de Bangolo Bewé Zanya. Salut à toi, capitaine de douane, Bamat à Bangolo. Infidèle à Bangolo Blégui. Salut à toi, papa. Océan Joël depuis Adjamé, la marraine de mon désir. Naï Apollinaire, Bawo Modeste le père Choco. Yoblé Christian, le père Pacom, prends soin des druides. Yeah, de Baou, de Baou, de Baou.